Alright, this is when you're checking for wear on a drill right here. So, thing is, just move it back and forth. You're checking for the pin up here, see how much play is in there. You know, and you go by down the bottom of the disc. If there's more than a ½ inch of play, then you got to change the pins. His is about there, so we're going to change it. He wants it changed. And you check the closing. You can see how much play is in that. So these are definitely going to, you know, be changed. And then you also want to look on that arm to see if it's buttoned down properly against that. The butt of this, if it's too far this way or that way, bolt's bent, the arm's bent, or possibly even the row unit's bent right here, twisted. So that's usually because at the brake here, people open and close it, and it's in the ground. They don't lift up the rock shaft. And then check the firming wheel, how much play is in that right here. See, that's quite a bit of play. How I do it myself is if the firming wheel can touch against the disc, which this can, time to be changed. So we'll be changing that joint. Then you also want to check if you have any loose bearings. So before you take anything apart, you move the gauge wheel. There's none there. None on that one, so that's a good gauge wheel bearing. And then you can move the disc as well. And you can see if there's a bad hub bearing. This is good. And you want to come down, check the actual boot, and you can just grab it right here and move it like this. This one is not out of spec yet, so he's not getting anything done right now on this drill. But this one's, that's okay. You can actually tighten that up with a 12mm bolt if you want, but I suggest you use a Pro Stitch, that boot stabilizer. You also want to check the bottom. You can easily do it by just touching the bottom for the wear. If it feels very sharp around here, then it's time to change it because it'll start creating this U here, kind of, and it wears away the metal. But this one still has some life, but it's getting close, so it's good. Then you want to check the disc here. His, we already measured his. His bevel's gone. His was right there at about 17 exact. Actually, at 17.25 we measured his. He's going to keep his just for the next season and change them, I guess, himself. But that's what you want to check. And you can measure from the hub outwards, and if it's 6.25, that's 18 inches. So anything under 5.25 is about 17 inches. You know, then you want to check your hoses. Usually if you can start hearing a crack when you're doing this, it's time to change it. Sometimes you'll see wear from the seat actually hitting this, and it'll wear a hole from the inside outwards. This is where you get a lot of your cracks. Sometimes they're rubbing, like, you know, against the frame, and there may be a hole, or, you know, they could just be split for something. That's what you want to check. Also, you want to check for rust all over these towers here and the manifolds. So if this riser pipe, like these old ones, they have a lot of rust in the very back, like if you see over there where that bolt kind of goes over there. So that's what you want to check. So that's really all the main wear parts. I'll show you the smaller things, like here, these holes where this fits into. I actually forgot the adjuster shaft to show you, but these holes are too walled out. You may want to change those, and also the knobs on these T-handles if they get too thin. But you also, want to check for the depth. If you can't move this stuff just by hand, then, and this is C's, if you need a hammer to beat these to move them from one notch to the next, you need to take this spindle out in here, or press this out, this adjuster shaft, clean out the spindle in the shaft. I guess finally you want to talk about, here's these seat tabs. Those are still all right. You know, he doesn't want them changed yet. He's going to do them himself, but if they're wore small or broke off, you change these. Then you also can, if you pull back for the spring for the seat tube or seat boot, you know, if they're too loose, wobbling, but these are tight, so he's good. That's it.